My dog is so obsessed with being on me that, like, even if I'm like this, babe, I'm gonna sit on you. You're gonna need to move for me, sweet pea. I'm a big girl now. Look at her. Y'all already know who I am. My name's Topher. Hello everyone. I hope everyone is having the best start to the new year. Let me know what you did. She's going crazy down here. She's having a great start to the new year. Let me know if you've got any New Year's resolutions. Leave it in a comment down below. I'm very intrigued. I have been really poorly, unfortunately. In fact, I've actually been so poorly that I have registered with a GP, and I have not been registered with a GP since I moved to London. If you know me, I just don't go to the doctors. It's just not, it's not something I ever do. I don't know why. I think it's just because I always feel like I'm wasting time, but this is like a vomiting thing, and I have been pretty much bed-bound. It takes me about 15 minutes to make a cup of coffee in the mornings because I need like sit-down breaks in between or else I'll pass out. On that note though, I did go and buy a NutriBullet yesterday because I was thinking if I can't keep any food down, at least I should puree it. I literally just brushed my teeth before that. It tastes like minty spinach. The reason I'm telling you this is because I filmed a vlog, but obviously because I've been so sick, I kind of lied in the vlog. I know, so naughty. I lied in the vlog and I filmed it over about 3 days, and I was gonna compile it into one and make it look like it was one day, and there was just no chance in hell I was getting away with it being one day. It was so obviously filmed on different days because the weather was just like up and down and like all over the place, and I was all over the place. So I did try. I feel really bad like coming back to YouTube after a really long time with a literal sit down recap video, but on the other hand, the whole purpose of that vlog was to recap 2022 and shut a door on a lot of things and share the things that I've learned with you, because if you were there for 2022, it was a pretty transformative year for me. So for that reason, we're literally just gonna have a chat today whilst I do my makeup, and I have a cute little puppy looking up at me, which I didn't have in 2022, did I? Actually, yeah, I did. What the fuck am I on about? I got it in November. Quickly, before I get started though, I would like to say a massive thank you to, guess who? Take a wild guess. Bet you won't guess it. Casetify! Boop boop. I just literally gave myself the ick. Casetify is sponsoring the next minute of this video. I don't even need to tell you, all my cases are Casetify. This is the one that I've got on right now. I'm really enjoying this one because it's so simple. This is an impact case, so it has an 8.2 foot drop protection. I love Casetify because they're functional phone cases, but not hideous phone cases. I always say I've got a whole box under my bed. Well, do you want to see it? A whole box. I got this one, really cute, like little cherub. This is an ultra impact case because it has the little bumpers around the side, but it's still so discreet. You can customize it even down to like the color of the case. So this could be opaque if you wanted it to be, like an opaque pink, or it could be a clear turquoise. Perfect for gifts. The ultra impact cases are 11.5 foot drop proof. This one is another really viral Casetify case. Everyone loves this one. As you can see, it's got a speckled design, and that's because it's made out of recycled phone cases. Casetify is also really great for sustainability. They're also so known for their customizable cases. These are a couple with my name on, and then another one that says Flossie. Once again, amazing for gifting. They also do phone straps, like MacBook covers, AirPod case covers, phone charm, cute little things. Something on there for absolutely everyone. I'm gonna have a discount code on screen here, as well as all the information that you need down below. It's Ida approved. She's getting her teeth into it. I don't think those are for you. I've rambled for a whole 10 minutes about literally nothing. Let's start off from the beginning of the year. I was miserable. Beginning of the year was probably the worst time. I was going through a lot, and I also think because it was the new year, I kept saying, oh my gosh, new start, fresh start. I literally went MIA for a whole week, to the point of like my parents had to come and drive down to see if I was functioning, which I was not. There's something else I want to say as well, like if anyone right now in the new year you're going through a really hard time, or emotionally you're just not feeling there, don't put that pressure on yourself just because everyone around you seems to be like taking on all these new goals, that you're failing, you've set yourself up for failure. It's literally just another 24 hours. It's all a big social construct. Nothing has to miraculously change overnight. You don't need to be this whole new big improved person. I also want to say, like, this video is not a pity party. I genuinely don't want any sympathy. I always say this. It's just like, if me talking about this and the realizations and things that I came to, which obviously I'm going to get onto in a little bit, can help anyone, then that is amazing. And I feel like, yeah, I have hit a lot of conclusions, and I would like to say that I'm out of it. I am no longer depressed anymore. And hopefully I can give you guys a bit of hope. But obviously, if you are really struggling, you need to talk to a therapist. I am not that, and I cannot be that for you. Another thing I want to leave behind in 2022 is over-explaining myself. I was not waking up till about between 3 and 6 p.m. every day. I wasn't responding to anybody's texts, not even my friends, not my managers. I had no energy, no enthusiasm, no want for anything. I didn't want anything. I can't explain it to you. It's like, unless you've been through it, you won't understand. I wouldn't want to shower because I wasn't going to see anyone. I wouldn't want to clean my flat or be in a nice environment because I didn't feel nice. Everything felt incredibly inescapable and very final. I felt like that was it. That was gonna be forever, the way that I was feeling then. It really does eat you up and consume like every part of every day. The only time that I would go out was to go out partying and to go out drinking, because that way I could like put on the fake, woo, I'm so fun and I'm so happy, and look at me, I'm so crazy and so unhinged. Which, can we stop glamorizing like the unhinged girl in 2023, sorry, because it's not cute. It's like screaming, crying, manic episode. There's like that thing of, you know, the girl who's always life of the party and always the chattiest, that are sometimes the ones who are struggling the most. And I think that was definitely me. Like, I was so overcompensating and trying to fool myself, fool everyone around me. Like, I remember after a night out, like after nights out getting in and just being like, I had such a good time. No you didn't. No you didn't. Like, going out and like drinking as your only form of social interaction because you can't bear for people to see you sober because you know you're such a shell of yourself, is not having a good time, Flossie. But once again, leading back to that not wanting to do anything, I didn't care. I did not care because I didn't have any respect for myself. Like, I had no respect for my body. I felt sad, and like, when you feel sad enough, you begin to just detest yourself. Like, I really thought that I was the worst human being in the world. I think the clips can finally come out now as well. I wasn't working. I was probably I was definitely just a fucking nightmare. I was a liability to everyone, like going missing just for days, not handing work in because I just, once again, wasn't sleeping. I'd be up till like 8 AM. I'd have to pull all-nighters sometimes because my brain was so fried. And like, it was just horrible. It was a really awful time in my life that I'm so glad that I went through now, because I do think like it has made me the person I am. But it was just not good. It was not a good time. It was not slay. This carried on for quite a while. It was these ginormous big serotonin highs and lows, and high and low and high and low, and I could never get an in-between. I could never get a comfortable in-between, and I just lied through my teeth the entire time. Because these highs and lows were so extreme, if I was having a day where there was a high, I was like, oh my god, I'm fine. I'm literally fine. Like, I'm cured, I'm not sad anymore, like everything's great. And I'd go around and tell everyone that I was fine and then I was doing so good, and then 2 days later I'd either be missing or like writing down the phone to someone. And once again, going back to the feeling of like being a liability, it was only making me hate myself more because I was so unstable. I had no perspective. I felt like I'd completely like lost perspective on life and feelings and emotions and what was normal and what I should be feeling. If anyone's going through something hard, like a hard mental time, I know recovery and getting better is the hardest thing to do, but I'm gonna put it bluntly and like kind of say it how it is. No one is coming to save you. Like, no one is gonna come and just change your life and change the way you feel. That has to be from you, no matter what has happened to you or like who's done what. You are the only person who can control your life and your brain and your mind, and it's an active choice to be happy. I'm afraid it doesn't just happen. It doesn't just go away. It's like an illness. It is an illness. If you leave an illness untreated, hence why I signed up with a GP, hey, it's just gonna get worse. So it's hard, but it's very worth it. I'm doing the most natural makeup ever, by the way, because realistically I'm going to take this off, get into bed, edit this video, and then go to sleep, because that's all I can kind of do at the moment. Another thing I also want to talk about is the difference in my physical appearance now being happier. And you guys have noticed it too, and you noticed it whilst it was going on, sorry, I'm getting so like blah 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 blah. Whilst it was going on, my face changed. All I can put it down to was literally being so unhappy, because nothing changed. Like, my weight changed. I was like a little bit heavier than I was, but I wasn't really eating differently. Like, I'm a girl who likes her food, trust me. It was just, especially my face was ginormous. I had no definition. My eyes were so puffy all the time. I remember my neck was a huge thing. I was so insecure of my neck because I had like no chin. It was just sloping down. And this happened when I was younger, and I went through a hard time when I was younger as well, like the facial sort of swelling. So all I can put it down to was I was so mentally unhappy. It was like taking a toll on my body. The same way if you're stressed you can get spots. Like, I was just holding so much water and I was holding it in my face. Everyone was saying I'd got a full face of filler, I botched my face, like all this stuff. I genuinely, no filler had touched these cheeks or this jaw. My face was just ginormous, and that is such proof that this stuff is so real. I didn't need my face to balloon up to know that like what I was going through was very real, but the way it physically affects you and like the way I looked changed. Like, I feel like my whole everything about me now is so different. If you go back and look at a video, I mean, I'm obviously really not looking my best right now, though let's not be judging this. My camera's flashing. I actually put it on charge overnight. Right, I need to give this a little bit of juice. I'll finish doing my eyebrows and I'll come back. We're back. I'm gonna try and like speed through this because I know I've been super slow in explaining myself, but you know me, I love a ramble, I love a chat. Why are these anal beads acting up? They're not actually anal beads, by the way, it's a Gorilla Pod. They just look like anal beads. I wonder how many people have googled anal beads after me like talking about it. Please don't. I also kind of just finished, I mean, I literally filled in my eyebrows, put a bit of gloss and like put the gloss on my cheeks. If you want to know what anything I used is as well, comment below, I'll tell you. I've composed a little notes list of like things to cover, so I cover everything in a chronological order. Look at me go, like this is so new and improved me lists. What am I like? For a while I felt like I had, by being open and like honest online, backed myself into a corner a little bit of like being the sad girl. This gave me a little bit of an identity crisis because whilst I was trying to come out of it, and this is no one's fault, like, it's no one's fault. I don't want any of you guys watching to think that this was like your fault if you were nice, or like, you know, I had uploaded multiple videos and multiple posts talking about the fact I was sad. So of course people are gonna connotate me to that. But whilst I'm trying to get better and having this like online presence of being sad, I felt a bit pathetic. I don't know, it all just got in my head a bit, and I was like, well, am I just a really sad girl? Like, am I gonna be a really sad girl forever? And I also didn't want people to worry or to like pity me, because all throughout I just wanted to be Flossie, and like I knew, well, I started to realize like there was more, and that I could get better. I was really fighting who I was, and it was incredibly, looking back, it was incredibly influenced by social media. And I, like, I've always said this, like, you're so in control of what you consume, but I've really come to realize that you're not, and you're a lot more impacted by things than you believe. And I was constantly putting up this front and like wanting to be this different person, this girl who just didn't care and didn't care about anyone else, and walk through life like a fucking Maddie from Euphoria. And how dumb is that? How dumb is that, that we now not only like glamorize and have an ideal of a certain way to look, but we also have an ideal of who you should be based off of like things that are just completely not real. Don't believe any of it. Like, don't believe any of it. You don't even have to believe me if you don't want to. I mean, I hope you do, because I promise I'm not lying. But also meeting people, like meeting people who are just completely different. It's wild, y'all, it's wild. This all started to change when I finally met good people. And I don't actually, do you know what, no, I can't say finally met. I had a lot of good people, but when I just prioritized those good people, I would thrive off of meeting new people, because it was almost like they didn't know my baggage, but I would end up getting morbidly drunk and like sobbing to them, like sobbing to a stranger, and that makes you, believe it or not, hate yourself even more. I was hanging out with my friends who I like still love and value to this day, like really truly my people, and I'm like will just forever be so grateful. Oh my god, here we go, because they made me just like accept and love and like celebrate myself for all the things, like all the things that I am, and like all these things that I felt like were the reason that I was so sad. Like I realized that actually such great things, like feeling so deeply. I've always felt things so deep and like cared so much, and I couldn't do that for myself for so long, because like I was just trying to push away who I was. Like I couldn't love myself when I couldn't accept myself. So when I started to accept those things and realize that they're really great and they're what people love me for, that was when I could really start to recover and, you know, celebrate life again and like celebrate myself again. Me being sad, it wasn't just like a fluke being sad. Like a lot of bad things happened, like a lot of just bad stuff happened that people don't even know the full extent. I went for dinner with a friend the other night and they said to me, what actually, like, did something happen? What happened? And I told them that everything that kind of like led me to this big breakdown, and they were like, oh my god, like it was a lot. There was a lot going on, and you don't need a lot going on to be really sad. But I think a lot of people have been very confused and very just like, why were you sad? Like everything was fine. But of course I'm not going to put that on the internet. I will never ever put that stuff on the internet, because it's just too real and too personal, and like I'm comfortable sharing this, but I'm not comfortable sharing that. Once I could start to like love and respect myself again, this was when I started taking those steps towards the recovery and the getting better, and it was the baby steps, you know. And actually it needs to be in your brain. Like, your brain is in control of so much in your life. Your reality is your brain. This is such shambles. I mean, Happy New Year, you know, switching on the media. But I'm gonna lose my train of thought, and I've only got like a few more little bits to talk about, so we're gonna do the rest of this on my iPhone. You need your brain to be in alignment with like your higher self, like the self that you're maybe not with yet, and the person that you're striving to be. I don't even want to say the person you're striving to be. I want to say the level of acceptance like you deserve within yourself. The crazy thing was that me getting better was not me changing, it was just me feeling and accepting. I felt everything, and I revisited things that I so badly didn't want to, and I would have rather just kept under wraps. And I confronted things, and I confronted the mind habits, the bad mind habits that needed to go, and learnt to love the things that are always going to be there, and learnt how to make the best out of me. The key to happiness is not some huge personality change, but instead just a switch, you know, a switch, like kind of bending it almost. Like, for example, I realized I had a really anxious attachment style, and that was from high school. Like, some bad things I went through in high school, and feeling really like rejected and sort of left out, and like struggling with friendships when I first moved to high school, and just being a really like insecure, lost teenager, which I feel like a lot of us were, you know, back then. And because those years were so like pivotal and developing for your brain, I'd carried on a lot of that, I don't want to say trauma, but a lot of that, the mind patterns, the brain patterns, the thinking patterns, and the massive fear of abandonment. And I felt pathetic admitting that, because I was trying to convince myself I was someone I wasn't, and I was convinced that the only way to be happy was to be this I don't care glamorized girl that you see everywhere, which I can guarantee you almost doesn't exist. And I also now don't want to be someone who doesn't care. I don't want to be someone who's like only out for themselves, and A, it's just not me, and B, like I don't think that's good either. I don't necessarily think that means you have it all together either. I don't think anyone really has everything together, and that's fine. It's called healing your inner child, and it's very real and it's very effective. I would recommend it a lot, because most of the things that you sort of carry on later into life are from like younger years. So I started looking into that, and I also realized the way that it was like affecting my relationships and also my view towards men. I feel like I talk about like dating, but like the funny stuff, etc. But I went through a really gnarly breakup last year, and it left me pretty not good. And I was left so like torn up about it that it was like a big trigger for that. And instead of, I knew the right thing was to like heal and do like my healing time, but instead I just wanted someone else. I wanted someone else's validation, because I felt lost and I felt hurt. It's those feelings coming back of like I'm not good enough and all that stuff, which I know is so normal in a breakup. Like obviously so many people go through that, but I was looking for the healing like in all the wrong places. But this is what I mean, like now I can accept that maybe those issues are there and stuff, and not fight it and not be mad at myself for it. But by accepting it, I can be like, right, this is the reason I feel the way I do. Doesn't mean I have to act on it, because I've been suppressing it for so long. I was like, no, I'm fine. I can go and date other boys. And then, you know, when something else will go like wrong with a boy, which ultimately it probably was, like not every single boy you see you're gonna get in a relationship with, I would take it so to heart, and it would mess me up so much, like just one talking stage going wrong, because, you know, I wasn't okay. Like, I wasn't okay, and I wasn't dealing with it, and I wasn't confronting it, and I wasn't confronting the issues that I'd literally suppressed for like years, and it all come to bite me on the bum at the same time. I'm editing, but I didn't add in that by realising all those things and taking it into action, I am off the boys. Biggest fucking waste of time in 2022, but not a waste of time. I had some fun, but yeah, I'm dealing with that by taking a big old break. I think I need a break. I need a break, and I need to reference a lot of them to my therapist. Everyone says it, but you gotta feel to heal, and you really do. And you gotta journal as well. Journal a lot. Journaling genuinely saved my life. Like, the perspective it will give you on time is unmatched. Leading on from that, I don't want to say anything, everything I say, never take it set in stone. I'm quite a sporadic person, but leading on from that, now going into the new year, talking about basically like fighting off this big oppression and like feeling of needing to oppress and change last year in order to be happier, which clearly you don't need to do. Something I've thought about going forward into this year is maybe getting like diagnosed with a few things. I was talking to my friends about it the other day, and I'm still like far from perfect in a lot of things, and I was saying to them, I feel scared to get diagnosed with things because it almost feels like I'm admitting defeat, and I don't want to I really don't want to come across like insensitive or something. This is just my own like internalized fear, but I'm so proud of like how far I've come and how much I've grown into myself. See, that's the thing now. I don't even want to say change. Like, I just want to say I've grown into myself, and accepted everything and just grown up. Like, I've really, really grown up. That I'm scared that getting diagnosed is like, I've always viewed it as like taking a step back, and I don't want this label. I don't want the label because I'm so, like, I'm Flossie. You know, these are just things I deal with, or the way I think. But another part of me is like, maybe just to make my life a bit easier, explain it to other people. If I do have a bit of an episode in the future, because I've always been like this, and there's definitely things that, like, I just hate all the connotation around it, like disorders. But like, why is it got to be a disorder? Like, it's just who I am, that I relate to a T. And I don't know, I just feel like sometimes it could make things a bit easier, but I'm fearful of it, and that's something I need to work on. It's always a constant work in progress, but that's fine. I'm very happy with that. As I said, I've grown up so much this last year, and I feel like, honestly, the last 4 months have been the most pivotal, and I feel like you guys can see a difference too, and I'm really happy. It scared me a little bit for a while because, you know, I feel like my brand online and stuff is like being very young and chaotic for a while, but it's just not really me anymore. Like, I'm very settled. I've got the best. She's sleeping. I'm sorry, Ida Bear. I've got the best little thing that's ever happened to me. She has honestly, I did not realize like how much I needed her, because every single day, like, waking up with the responsibility for something else, and the unconditional love as well. Oh, I'm sorry, puppy. She's like, oh, put me down. The unconditional love from her, when like it's so in my instincts and in my nature to love, like having it back, it's kind of crazy, you know, and I'll always be her mummy, won't I? I'll always be your forever mummy, and I promise to look after you the best I can. I'm feeling so good and so optimistic and so brand new, even if I did vomit papaya up my nostrils yesterday. And I'm incredibly proud of all of us, because we're all growing together and we're all doing this together. And I hope anyone who's in a bad place, firstly, I'm so sorry. I'm so, like, girl, I know it's literally the worst thing in the world. I'm so sorry. But I hope if you have watched this, maybe you could take at least one thing from it, because I never thought that, like, I'd reach this. Do you know what? I feel like I really needed to do that. I really needed to do that one. I'm gonna leave you all to it now, to go and have a wonderful rest of your day. I love you all so much. I honestly really do mean that. And the support that you've all given me through 2022. Why am I literally the world's most emotional person? The support that you've all given me through 2022, and like your patience and just kindness and sharing your stories and like your advice and your help with me, honestly, like, helped me beyond words. I love you all so much, and you're all so worthy and deserving of all the wonderful things, and you are great and perfect exactly how you are, and I just need you to start telling yourself that. I love you all so much. Happy 2023. Our best year yet. I can feel it.